Hello there, my name is Pavlo Steinman and now we'll unveil the top news of recent days. More than 22 million tons of cargo have been exported from Ukraine via the Black Sea since Russia withdrew from the Black Sea Agreement half a year ago. This was announced by the Minister of Infrastructure of Ukraine, Alexander Kubrakov. Since August, when the first ship from Ukraine left, more than 700 have used the so-called Ukrainian corridor. Currently, loading is carried out from three ports of Greater Odessa: Chornomorsk, Odessa and Pivdenny, the southern port. However, of course, the Russians are trying again and again to attack civilian ports and ships.
Since July 18th, the last day of operation of the grain corridor, almost 200 port infrastructure facilities were damaged as a result of Russian attacks on the seaports of Ukraine, and more than 26 civilians were injured. Alexander Kubrakov, Deputy Prime Minister for Restoration of Ukraine, on Facebook.
That is why the armed forces of Ukraine fought and will fight against the Russian Black Sea Fleet, and as you know, very successfully. As of now, a fifth of the Great Russian Fleet has been destroyed, in particular the flagship Moscow, the submarine Rostov-on-Don, large amphibious assault ships Saratov, Novocherkassk, Caesar Kunikov, Olenegorsk Gornyak, Minsk and Novocherkassk were sunk, destroyed or seriously damaged. And all this was done by Ukraine, that hasn't a big fleet, thanks to the skills of our intelligence, engineers and military. At the same time, the ports damaged by Russia are being restored quite quickly. Moreover, shipment volumes are increasing every day. Therefore, more than 22 million tons in 6 months is not the limit. Modernization of both the ports themselves and the accompanying infrastructure, the network of highways and railways with the proper security component will allow to increase the volumes by at least a quarter, said Kubrakov. And we also have overland corridors for the transportation of grain. Yes, they are blocked from time to time, but we will find a solution to this problem as well with our partners. The weekend has already passed since the release of the interview of the Russian dictator Putin with the American citizen Tucker Carlson, and information about it is still appearing. For example, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz commented on this interview.
There is a very clear reason: the Russian president's desire to annex part of Ukraine, and all the stories that are told in this regard do not change anything about the fact that this is the goal of his imperialistic aspirations. Olaf Scholz, Chancellor of Germany.
And the press secretary of the European Commission, Nabila Masrali, said that Brussels did not see anything new in Putin's interview. He repeated old lies, distortions and manipulations, and also demonstrated a very hostile attitude towards the West, which is nothing new. The press secretary of the European Commission expressed regret that Putin was actually given a platform for manipulation and dissemination of propaganda supported by well-known lies about Ukraine. This is a dangerous lie, since he used it as a so-called explanation for the illegal and unprovoked war of aggression of the Russian Federation against Ukraine. This lie has already become the direct cause of the enormous suffering, crimes and atrocities committed against the Ukrainian people by Russia. And as Masrali rightly stated, Putin must begin by immediately and unconditionally withdrawing his troops and equipment from all of Ukraine within its internationally recognized borders, and take care of the enormous problems that Russian society faces every day. The only thing that really causes some reactions is that Putin, a war criminal with an arrest warrant from the Hague Tribunal, is being interviewed, not testifying before an investigator. This is the only thing he has to do for the rest of his life, however long he may have left.
Didn't the journalist sitting next to this scum realize who he was zealously pandering to? Someone whose blood is not abstract but real. More than 500 Ukrainian children, tens of thousands of other innocent elderly people, women. And when this journalist returned to the US and hugs his children at home, let him imagine that they may not be there because they were killed by a Russian missile yesterday and his parents were run over by a Russian tank. Alexei Danilov, Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine, on social network X.
As Alexei Danilov pointed out, all of Putin's talk about Ukraine is a copycat, with Russia's eternally offended people and Putin's own nonsense on the side, and the whole world on the other, dreaming of seizing treasures of Russia, whose soldiers steal toilets in Ukraine. And unfortunately, they take the lives of our soldiers. And in my opinion, it needs to be stopped as soon as possible. Estonia will continue to build a defensive line on the border with the Russian Federation. This was stated by the Minister of Defense of the Baltic country, Hanno Pevkur. He urged not to believe Vladimir Putin's statements that Russia does not intend to invade NATO countries. Let me remind you that in his interview with Carlson, Putin never stated that we will not attack Poland or the Baltic countries. And Pevkur stated that the country will not change their plans. Do you really believe Vladimir Putin after what he said and how he behaved all these years? And in order not to sit, Estonia received the Israeli-Singaporean Blue Spear 5G anti-ship missile system, the firing range of which covers almost the entire water area of the Baltic Sea. Latvian Defense Minister Andris Spruds predicts that the construction of the Baltic defense line may continue in Latvia for the next decade. At the same time, Latvian Minister of Internal Affairs Richard Kozlovskis said that, given Latvia's position on supporting Ukraine, there are risks of manifestation of elements of a hybrid war that Russia can direct against Latvia, and these risks of provocations are increasing. Although there are almost zero attempts at illegal penetration of the Russian border, Kozlovskis does not believe that this will continue to be the case. However, the minister added that he doesn't have any information about any specific risks or provocations as of now. In general, they are not such as to become a matter of concern for the Defense Department, while the Kremlin still has something to do – preparations for Putin's pseudo-elections. And Russia wants at least some success for them on the Ukrainian front, and if they fail, there is a possibility of opening a new front. That concludes our today's video. Thank you for watching, stay updated. Comment, like and subscribe to our UATV English channel for more news from Ukraine. Your support is what really matters. Goodbye.